Hi everyone, my name is Sarah and this is episode 23 of Sarah's Creative Corner. This is just my little corner of the internet where I just chat about all the things that I've been working on over the past week, primarily knitting and spinning. And you can find me in my links down below and on Instagram and on Ravelry, and I also put all of the project pages as well as the dyers for all the things that I talk about in the episode. So all the resources are down below for you to kind of explore more. But this week I just wanted to hop on and kind of talk about all the things that I've been working on. It's only been knitting. And I have a couple acquisitions and then one acquisition that has already turned into a whip. So we can go ahead and hop right into it. I don't have any finished objects. Yeah, I don't really have anything that's going to be close to being finished either, so it might be a little bit before you see anything that's done. I might try to cast on something like quick to get that satisfaction, but outside of that, just got some more long-term projects on the needles right now. So, since there's no finished objects, we can go ahead and get into the whips. And I guess I'll kind of go in order of what you have seen to what you haven't seen. Yeah, so the first thing I guess we can chat about is I didn't put a progress marker in this one, but it is my Uptown tee by Tori. There it is. It's still on the tiny needles. But I think last time you saw it, I think I was just maybe half an inch into the body. I should be nearing the end of the raglan increases and should be splitting for sleeves soon. So yeah, this is the Tori. This is by Tori U of Tori Knits NYC, and it is her Uptown tee. And it is just a t-shirt that features this lovely little like lace detail. Some of you may remember that I did a long sleeve version of this, and that was a test. And yeah, I've already knit this before in the same exact yarn, but pets make messes. So I'm remaking it. I was able to find a skein of it a couple weeks ago. Or the same, yeah, skein of the yarn that I used before. So I have an extra skein. But yeah, pretty happy with it. And I noticed that last time I alternated skeins, but so far I don't notice any color pooling. It's just very watercolory. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. This is Life in the Long Grass, their silk merino base. It's a 50-50. I was trying to see if they had this base anymore, if like they carry it still, but they don't. It looks like they have a silk and merino base, but it's a different percentage. I think it might be like an 80-20 or a 90-10 or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they don't have the 50-50 base anymore. And it is in the colorway Garden Party, which they do still have, it looks like. So you can get the same color, just not the same base. But yeah, pretty happy with it. And looking forward to just splitting for sleeves and just knitting them around. I think that'll be very nice. And I remember this not taking very long last time I made it. So probably by the time I split for sleeves and then I do the body, I should be fine. And then the sleeves, I think you just add like a little bit extra length and then you do an I-cord bind off. So I should be good. And like I talked about last time, this will give me an opportunity to redo the I-cords on the sleeves, because last time I did them a little bit too tight and I was kind of afraid to undo it and mess everything up. But it's fine. And I'll probably be getting an acquisition sometime this week or next week for something that will be helping me with that. So I will chat with you about that next time around, and hopefully I'll be able to kind of test it out. So that is this one, and I will put a stitch marker or like a progress keeper in this after I film. So that is the first one, the Uptown Tea by Tori U. And if you want to see the cake, this is the cake. It's just like pinks and purples and greens. Not really speckly, but not variegated. Kind of like a mix of both. So this has been nice to work on, and it's kind of mindless. So yeah. The next whip that I have is this guy. It is my pressed flower shawl by Amy Christoffers of Savory Knitting. I think that's what her handle is. And I knit about a flower and a half. I didn't finish the entire flower, but I just need to do the last like 2 rows of the repeat. But yeah, so I'm into the 3rd repeat. It is getting a little bit longer to do, but I think it was yesterday I just had some relaxation time and was able to work on this. I have another project that I've been kind of fixated on recently, just because it's fun. So we'll talk about that later. But yeah, that is this guy. And the yarn, the background pink is Miss Babbs Yowza in Zinfandel. And then the flower, like cream speckly, is Miss Babbs Yowza in Hitchhiker's Birthday. So, oh, there we go. So I am now on the second half of the shawl, I think, before I get into the border. So slowly but surely getting there, and it's definitely getting longer and a little bit unwieldy, but I still really enjoy the pattern, and I think I will want to have the entire shawl and not like dip out early. So that is this guy. So happy with it, and maybe I'll try to finish the 3rd repeat this week, and we'll see if that happens. But yeah, that's this one, and it just looks so good. It makes me so happy to work on. It's just fun to see each of the flowers work up and how they'll turn out. So that is that one. And then the last one that you have seen, you didn't see much of it last time. So this will be a big difference, but so happy with it. It's my Framed by Andrea Mowry. This is her like Rhinebeck sweater for the year. I will be going to Rhinebeck this year with one of my friends. So that's this. I have one section that I've blocked out a little bit. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's right where my needles are. But it's just so good, and I definitely think that once it blocks out, it'll, like the little quilt motif will be more obvious. But yeah, you can kind of see it. So I am using the called for yarns, which are Spincycle Dream State, which is their worsted weight, like color changing yarn. And then I'm using Farmer's Daughters, Fiber Spinster's Daughters Worsted, which is their collaboration where Spincycle mills the yarn and then sends it to Farmer's Daughters Fibers, and they dye it. So I can't remember which one is which, but the Spincycle that is Dear Diary. So it's like this purple, pink, blue, which you can kind of see. And then I think my background, or like this one, is Love Me Like You Used To. And that's the Farmer's Daughter's Fibers dyed one. And then this one is Get a Little Help from Your Friends. Something like that. I have the colorways listed in the project page. So yes, I just can't remember which one is which. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. This has also been something that I've been kind of fixated on, as you can see, because last time I had a half an inch maybe on it, and I've already finished the first repeat. Today I was working on starting the second one, and then maybe this week I'll split for sleeves, depending on my motivation and the time that I have and all those things. But yeah, I'm really happy with it, and I think I've kind of gotten the pattern down mostly. There's a little, like the middle part of the quilt square I still haven't really gotten down, but the bottom and the top, don't need to look at the chart for that. So yeah, and I guess the only thing that I've changed is that I'm doing different needle sizes. I did a size 4 for the ribbing and a size 6 for the body. And last time I talked about how I was going to do a twisted rib, it was like just too much. So I'm just doing normal rib, and it's turned out fine. And I think it'll block out fine too. And looks like there's already something dirty on it, which is fun. But that's this guy. Something also that has been making me happy to knit on the past like week or so. But yeah, I'm very happy with this, and I am looking forward to the cooler weather in Rhinebeck to be able to wear this. And I just hope that Rhinebeck is cool, because last year it was kind of warm, it was wet, so we'll see. But that is this one. Very happy with it, and I can't wait to finish it, so then like it blocks out and you can see the true glory of the pattern. Okay, all right, so this is the second to last thing that I have been working on, and I kind of alluded to something that I'd do this in the last episode, but I have started another pair of socks, because I always have to have a pair of socks on my needles, and this is it. I am doing kind of an amalgamation of different patterns. So I followed the Shorty sock set from Summer Lee to kind of figure out how to do the ruffle, and then I did a 2x2 ribbing. I did 15 rounds of ribbing. I wanted to do a short sock, so then I did 20 rounds of stockinette for the leg, and then I am doing a strong heel. So I'm trying in a different heel. It's from the Vanilla is the New Black pattern. I saw Nitty Natty try it, and I just wanted to try it out, but this is what it looks like. So it's kind of like a ribbed heel, and you do some increases, and then you do like a heel, like a kind of a heel flap. I haven't gotten there yet. I'm almost there, but yeah, I don't think it's too bad. It's definitely different, which I don't hate. I'm kind of in the mood right now of trying different heels to see like what works and maybe what I feel like is more efficient. I do like a heel flap and gusset. I've gotten better at it, but sometimes I just don't want to pick up the heel flap stitches. Sometimes I'm just not in the mood. So that is that. I'm pretty close to finishing the heel, or like the increases of the heel. and then I'll go and do like the gusset and everything like that. Then I'll be on my way to the foot. So I'm probably like halfway done with this one. So yeah. And this is, I'm also doing 60 stitches instead of 64, and I'm knitting it on 9-inch circulars with 1.5 needles, US 1.5, 2.5 millimeters. And just some details about the yarn. So the heel, or the cuff, is a bare yarn from Knit Picks. It's just their Hawthorne fingering base. And then the main color is Lovey Dovey from Spun Right Round in their Tough Sock base. So last time I talked about now I had like 54 grams or something. So I'll just do a contrast cuff and toe, and figure out what I'll do with the scraps if there's any scraps left. But yeah, pretty happy with this. It's fun to try something new with my like sock adventures. I think sometimes it can get a little boring just doing the same thing over and over again, but trying different heels, putting in like a ruffle and all that sort of stuff has made it a little bit more interesting. I will say the ruffle was a little bit fiddly at first, but I got it down. I did it, and I'm pretty happy with it. And I look forward to wearing these in the cooler months that are coming up here. All right, so the last one is kind of an acquisition and a whip. So I'll kind of talk about the whip first, and then we'll get into acquisitions. So I got into another test knit, and this one is another Tori U pattern, and this is her Courage Henley. So she has the Highline Henley, which is a DK weight, and this is a worsted weight Henley. It'll be kind of hard to tell, but I finished the back panel, I finished the shoulder pieces, and then I finished the left, and I'm almost done with the right front. So drape it over me. I don't have any yarn attached because I ran out on this side, but this is the first time I'm doing this kind of construction. It is a saddle shoulder, and it was just very addicting to do. So pretty happy about that. And I should be joining in the round pretty shortly here, probably once I finish the right front. And yeah. And I am knitting it on the called for needles, US 7, because when I blocked my frame, I noticed I had just a little bit few stitches. Like I think one less stitch than I needed. And then the Courage Henley has a little bit more of an open gauge. So I just went one needle up, and it seems to be working well, and I like the fabric. So that's what I'm doing. And yeah, nothing too crazy about it. For the pickup, I did something different on the ends. Like I did like every other for the first 4, and then 2 out of every 3, and then like just 4 in a row. But there's no puckering or anything. I'd say it's a pretty good pickup on all 4 sides. I think it's good that I'm getting practice picking up stitches, especially like in a garment. So yeah, very excited to be working on this. And I think once I'm in the round, it'll be kind of like with the Uptown tee, where it's just stockinette, and it will just go by pretty quickly. I am intrigued about the like Henley collar and how that'll get worked up. I've never done that before. So doing lots of new things, doing a Henley, doing a saddle shoulder. So yeah, that is a progress on this guy. and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm knitting size 4, and I'm knitting it out of Farmer's Daughter's fibers in their Pishkun base. I think that's how you say it. I don't think so. I'm not sure. But it is their worsted non-superwash base. It's the first time I've used it, and I'm doing it in Love Me Like You Do. I think that's what this base, the color is called. Just a light blue, and I'd say it's pretty even. There's obviously some lighter spots, but I think that's just more like a depth, not necessarily pooling. So pretty happy with it, and yeah, I think it'll look nice in the fall. So that is my last whip that I have been working on. It's quite a few. It's 5. So I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the base. So this is the base that I'm doing the test on. It is Farmer's Daughter's fibers in their Pishkun base, and it is 255 yards per 100 grams, 100% Montana and Wyoming Rambouillet. So far, really good. It's a 2-ply. I have enjoyed knitting with it. I haven't found it to be splitty or anything. Just an all-around positive experience. And yeah, the only thing, I actually don't think I really have anything to say about this yarn. And it's a non-superwash, so it'll be interesting. And that's what Tori used in her sample, is a non-superwash. And I just need to figure out what buttons to figure out, or like to put together with this. So if you guys have any suggestions for like buttons for a light blue sweater, let me know in the comments. But otherwise, yeah, I got 6 skeins of this. It should be good, and it should be enough for my sweater. And it is in Come and Get Your Love. Nothing really crazy to say about this. I got 6 skeins, and I'm about to start on the second one. So do with that as you will. Okay, the next thing is my Woolberry collective that I got for, I think it was June. I got a new base to me. It is her Berry Linen base. She came out with this last year, and she like had a big drop, or like a pre-order for a select number of colors. I didn't get any, but I think a couple of the collectives over the summer have had this. So this is Grapefruit Fizz. I feel like I got a color kind of similar to this recently, but I can't remember. And this is the Berry Linen, and it's a 50% alpaca, 25% linen, 25% silk. And it feels really soft and just like very cooling to the touch, which is probably like the linen and silk. And I'm probably going to make some sort of like t-shirt out of this, and I got 2 skeins. And it's just kind of like a peachy color. I think it'll be nice for the summer and like my tan over the summer. I'm not as tan over this summer, but maybe next summer. So yeah, that is this one. And then I got a spinning acquisition, which I will put in black and white in a moment. It is my Little Fiber Co. Cookware Club. So she sends out 4 ounces, or like however much fiber or yarn that you started with in the beginning of the year, and it's kind of a mystery but kind of not. And this month's is 100% Blue Face Luster, and it's 26 microns, and the colorway is called Nectar. So I will change it to black and white right now, and that's what it looks like. Pretty happy with it. Also not necessarily in my color wheelhouse, kind of like last month's, but could be fun for like a color work or something like that. Not necessarily just on its own. But yeah, that is this. Pretty happy with it. And I have been spinning with some BFL recently with the BFL silk that I spun up. So it'll be interesting to see what just BFL feels like. So I'm excited for that. That's really all the fibery things. And I have kind of like a life update. I submitted some things to our local county fair, and I am also going to be submitting to my in-laws. Like, it's not like a county fair, but it's like a fair. But today I got my ribbons, which I was really excited about, and I placed second in 2 of the things and third in the 2 others, and I can put up the pictures here. So I got second in my Manhattan vest and my Uptown pullover. So Tori, you rock. Everything that you make is just beautiful. And then I got third place for my colorwork socks by Summerly Knits. They are the mid-winter sock. Those were the pink ones with the flowers. And then I got third place for my Koyo hat by Olga Jazzy Knits. So pretty pleased with myself. Sad that I didn't get first place. And it was funny when I got back the comments on it, on my Manhattan vest, they just like didn't have any negative things to say. Like they didn't say like, oh, you should have like picked up better stitches, like your stitch is better, like whatever it is. And I just like looked at the card. I was like, well, if it's so good, then why didn't you give me first place? But I digress. It is okay. And it was just really nice to see all of the different things that people were knitting up and like spinning and crocheting and felting and all the things. And I actually just kind of connected with someone who also submitted to that county fair, and she got first place in the things that she submitted, which I was really happy for her. And because I participated as like someone who entered things, I also got like a special like participation ribbon, and it's like one of those big ones, like big like fancy grand champion looking ones. So that was exciting. But yeah, those are the 4 things that I submitted and placed in this time around, and I'm gonna be turning in the same things for the next fair. I think either Thursday or Friday, and the fair is over Labor Day weekend, so we will see how I place then as well. But yeah, that's really all of the things. I appreciate all of the comments and engagement, and I actually have like a little over 50 subscribers, which is crazy. So hello to all like 52 of you. And I think it's just wild that there's people out there that want to watch and listen to me like ramble on about my little hobby. And I look forward to chatting with you in the comments down below. And once again, my links and all the project pages and dyers and everything are down below. And I will talk to you next week. Bye.